All right, good morning or good day if you're tuning in later. Hope you're all doing so well. Get the coffee going this morning. Gearing up this week for the holidays kicking off, Thanksgiving coming up, and I don't know, how are you feeling about it? Are you getting excited for it? Some people, holidays can be complicated. Can be our favorite time of the year. Sometimes it can be a stressful time of the year. And so it can be kind of finding that balance. Where are y'all at today with it? You feeling good about it, or things you're anxious about or thinking about? Can be especially hard time of the year, people who are dealing, with loss of a loved one or some sort of emotional issue like that. Obviously, if you're missing someone, it can be especially difficult. I thought I'd kick off our time. So I call this little, what do we call it, an episode, Give Yourself a Gift of Health. I've been thinking about this week, and so we're going to dive into this thought. I really like this idea, giving a gift of health. Okay, so we'll do some thinking about that. I thought I'd just start off with just a little bit of a gratitude moment. So, are there things that you're thinking of that you have gratitude for today? Or maybe have a little exercise, and what is the top thing that comes to your mind? Feel free to share in a chat or comment if there's anything that you want to share. I'll just say, I'm coming in on the first month of doing the live stream, and I'm just grateful already. In the little space that we've had here, it's been so fun to connect with people. We've had people certainly in Wisconsin, but across the U.S., New York, Connecticut, Maryland. We've had people even around the world who've sent me notes to already. UK, Canada. We had Glasgow from Jamaica last week. So it's just been fun already at the start to have people here. I'm grateful for everybody that's here. Love the holidays. I got to get these comments going. Love the holidays. Thanksgiving with all the traditional recipes. Can't wait. Yeah, it is so fun. And I was talking with someone yesterday on kind of a health. It was a health conversation. They're saying we were talking about, struggling with food around the holidays, but also looking forward to it. And I was saying, what is something that you're really looking forward to as far as food? And they said, boy, getting a pumpkin pie, a piece of pumpkin pie is their very favorite thing. And I was thinking about like the cycles that we can get in. Sometimes a holiday can be so stressful, especially if you're trying to lose weight. People start thinking like, oh no, this is going to be overwhelming. This is, I think we can have if we are embracing our inner perfectionist. I think many times weight loss counseling, people are like, oh, you can't have any sort of treat. You can't have any sort of good thing. This is certainly not how I look at it. I really like the idea of planning for holidays and looking forward to it. And the more enjoyment we can squeeze out of it, the better, is how I feel about it. So I just tell people, we're heading toward a holiday. What are the things that are most important to you? What are the food experiences? What are the things that help you connect with family and friends? Grateful for my beautiful family, the ability to get together, share some laughter. This is just the very best. Absolutely. Look forward to it, helps us enjoy it further, and then you plan for it. You know what the things are that are important. Then you can enjoy them in the moment. You don't have to feel bad about it. And then also you can look fondly upon it as you remember it. We're trying to create memories and good experiences with holidays. And so that is a very positive cycle to go through all of that. It's the exact opposite of the way, sometimes we can approach it, people feeling anxious heading into it, say, oh, will this be a difficult experience? And then in the moment, people feel guilt. You eat some pie or some treat or an extra potatoes or whatever it is. People feel bad about it because we have so many negative thoughts we bring on ourselves. And then afterward, then people end up in a place of regretting it or say, oh, did I eat too much? I shouldn't have done that. So we want to keep everything in that positive cycle on the front end. Okay, those are some thoughts on that. I want this space, I hope, to be an encouraging part of your day, a thoughtful part of the week. I hope that I thought when I was kicking off, when should I do the little program? I kind of like Sunday. Hopefully, it can be the type of thing kind of kick the week off in the right foot. Okay, so giving a gift of health. Let's dive into that. I think about, holiday season is, we think of gifts. We think of giving gifts to other people. Sometimes that can be one of the stressful elements. Got to go shopping. What am I going to get for this? And people, you can get in a whole thing calculating, well, this person gave me that. And you don't want to undergive, or you don't want to overgive, make it awkward. So I'm stressing myself out just thinking about that. Do you ever think of giving yourself a gift? Certainly, right, we buy things for ourselves, right? But if you just have something you want and you just go buy it, I don't think, at least personally, I don't ever really think, oh, I'm buying myself a gift like that. If you could give yourself any gift, money is no object. Like, here's a good exercise, is maybe a journaling, prompt. What would you give yourself? Buy yourself some extravagant vacation or some toy, nice car, But what about a gift of health, in my experience in medicine, we take health for granted so often, right? And it's like, when it's going well, you don't really even have to think about it. But of course, you get in a situation, if someone is not well, it's like, what is the one thing they would want? You just want health. Like, health is just such a fundamental part of our experience. We just want that. Very hard to give health. We can give things that are supportive of health, I would say. And the thing I've been thinking about this week is like giving health to ourselves easier than giving it to someone else. Like, I think if you wanted to give someone else health, like, what would you do? You think, well, kind of awkward to give someone a gym membership, like, hey, maybe for the right person. Maybe a little easier, something like some spa package, like some mental health focused thing, like go relax, give someone a gift of health. You could do that for yourself. And everybody should, what would be the things that would help me to improve my wellness in this year? The thought I was having about a gift, though, is like, you give a gift, usually, hopefully, to someone you care about. And then I was wondering, like, is the reason we don't give gifts to ourselves, or we don't think of it that way, like, what kind of relationship do we have actually with our own self? Do we really care about, ourself in the way that we care for a friend or a family? Are we prioritizing a relationship, with ourselves? I don't even think that's something that we really think about a lot, but I think that it's a really actually important thing to do. I've been doing a lot of talking with people lately about how hard we are on ourselves. Like, we are often lack compassion and for our own needs. And then this can really drive it into the holidays, right? So especially if you're someone, you're hosting people, you're cooking food for everybody, you're doing all these things. many people end up, feeling kind of depleted by the end of the season. Say, "Oh, January is here. Is like I need a break." So we want to find a balance. What does it look like to give yourself a gift first? Like we're going to get through Thanksgiving, and we're going to have Black Friday, and it's going to be shopping season, and then like holidays are really going to be kicking off and into this. So here we are. We're a few days before. It's like we're just before this is kicking off. Like, can you give yourself a gift first? And my proposal. Obviously, I'm biased. I'm sitting here on a fasting channel, but fasting to me, I've always thought of it as a gift, and in two ways. And so I'll just share some of those thoughts with you. So fasting is a gift. Health is a gift. A lot of our society, okay, this is, tell me if you would agree. I mean, it's a consumption culture, and whether that's good or bad, but we have a mindset always, okay, like consume, consume, to push back a bit against that. That's fasting. To say, actually, the body is strong, the body has resources, the body is capable. We don't give the body space very often to let it just rest and exist in this food-free space. It turns out physiologically, and I don't, you know, when it used to be when I started counseling about fasting, I would dive in with people on all kinds of, the hormonal pathways. I mean, I'm a doctor. I've like geek out on all this physiology. People would just be sitting there in the clinic like, I remember one woman once, I got her going on a fasting practice. She had come in looking to lose weight, very skeptical, which I totally understand. I was like, you might just try opening up this space. But I gave her my whole spiel, which was like 45 minutes of, I mean, it was like a med school level, hormone lecture. And I knew this was not the best way to go. I just remember telling her, she had lost like 30 pounds. She was so happy. But I was saying, like, do you have any feedback? And she's like, thank you for taking all the time, but like, just skip the lecture next time and just tell me what works. I'm like, oh, can I do that? I was like, that's when I started. I think that's the first time I thought of like, as like a gift. I was like, is it really that simple? Could it be that simple? Like, we don't have to understand every biochemical pathway in the body. We can just like, I can just help it, like, just grab a coffee or a tea, stay hydrated, open up some food-free space. Most people find that the most pleasant in the morning, less hungry. Could it be that easy? Like, well, I hate using the word easy. Could it be that simple? That's why I call it simple fasting. For some people might find that easy, and then that's a super gift. For some people, even that can be a struggle, say, even if it's a struggle, but it is simple and everybody can get on that page, and then we start leaning toward it. So that's when I really scale back all the complexity. I say, because weight loss, the whole weight loss industry, right? Everything health is so complex and can be so stressful and expensive. So I say, well, here's a practice, fasting. Totally different, totally simple. Like, when I thought about launching, a simple fasting, when I think about make a medical practice that is about this, I was like, well, it's nothing. Like, can you make a practice about something that is so simple, and then not even try to explain it? Like, just try to say, just do it and see if it works for you, and lean into it. That's the type of space I want for people, and I realize it's actually the perfect thing. Because, we're so busy, right? We have so many demands on our time, so many demands on things we have to do. That's always the hardest thing. I remember before I learned about any of this, I'd be sitting in clinic and I'd try to explain to people how, okay, you want to lose weight, you're going to have to start exercising, right? You need to get a gym membership, you need to dial in. And it's like, just the idea of adding that on top, right? I can see people's eyes like, oh, or just the cost, another gym membership, another thing. So to have a practice where you say, I'm gonna move in the totally opposite direction. I'm gonna start trusting the body. Seeing This is part of where I was saying, okay, do we have compassion for ourselves? It's like one thread. And like there's this there's this thought in medicine of obesity, and even type 2 diabetes. Okay, that's easier to see. But obesity is a disease, and this is one of the things that I've been really thinking about. It was only 2013, I think, when the Institute of Medicine defined obesity as a disease. It never was defined that way. And the more I think about it, the more I really disagree with this, I don't know, paradigm scheme. I don't think that obesity is a disease, but and it at least doesn't mean that it can't be a problem. I mean, I'm spending my whole, time trying to help people get rid of this situation, in the body. I just increasingly see it as a resource, and I think this is more the reality in the body. The body is trying to take care of us, and we're in an environment, a food environment, a societal environment that is somewhat abnormal, historically for the body. Historically, you know, the main thing that's gonna give us trouble if we're not getting enough food as a society. Most of human civilization has been about getting enough food to feed ourselves and our families. Right? Here we are in this incredible, here's another gratitude, this incredible age of infinite food, basically. As I was saying that, I was thinking about the challenge. Did you see my challenge video? Obviously, many people in the world not having access to this infinite amount of food. This is the dichotomy, which is so difficult. The incredible abundance, the inequity of the situation. Watch my little challenge video on the channel to get my thoughts on it. I have too many thoughts. I have so many thoughts coming at me. Realizing overconsumption of food is my lifestyle. Recently realized changing this mindset is my goal for the new year. Hopefully, the weight loss will follow. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. The more time I spend in this sort of space, this is closing off one of these threads I was saying about it's such a simple sort of idea. And then I say, can I lean into that space? It's the perfect thing to do, because it's not the complexity of the idea that is important. The simplicity, I don't know, there's all these famous quotes. Einstein has something like smart, you're talking this long and something, but genius is I'm not trying to say fascinating. It's the more beautiful, the more powerful the idea, the simpler and clearer it is. He was talking about his little E=mc² or whatever. Very, very simple, but incredibly powerful. That's how I see fasting. And so then the more I thought about it, it's not the idea that needs to be complex. The idea needs to be simple, but the difficulty or the challenge or the opportunity, there's the way to look at it. The opportunity is in actually the doing of it, the implementing, the practice, and that's where I spend most of my time. And that's why I like this live format. That's why I like connecting with people, because most of this stuff on YouTube, I've even on my channel, right? I make a video here's how you do fasting, open up some space, slowly increase it. It's one thing to know it and to hear it, but to actually do it and then to experience it in your own body, right? That is the challenge when you say, okay, it's a lifestyle, say my lifestyle is eating this way. Say I've been eating in a certain way for 50, 60 years, very well worn, pathways, and it can be very hard to change that. And so that's what I think is really the core health. I don't know what the word is. That's where our focus should be, helping people to do it. This is what we really need, both personally and, for our society, to create a healthy, thriving society. So I just feel really good about sitting in this sort of space, helping people to do it. And to me, that's a gift to me. And then can it be a gift to you, right? To say, okay, here's a practice, not stressful. Hopefully, if it's stressful, don't do it. That's what I always tell people. Because you don't have to do it. You certainly don't have to. And can you slowly open up that space, teach yourself how to do it over time? Give yourself a gift first would be like showing love and compassion to yourself, making sure that you are being filled up and not depleted. Okay, I wrote down a couple ideas. What does it look like to end your holiday season with a win? Think about that. Like you're getting to, New Year's Day and you say, you know what, I really won this holidays. What would that look like? The best, memories, had solid food experiences. You didn't feel like you deprived yourself in any fashion. How about and losing weight before the new year starts? And you didn't feel deprived in any way and you felt better. This is why I think fasting can be a gift. Here's a way to approach, a holiday. And before I forget about it, just for fun, I'll put in the background here my little video project for the week. Let's see if I can get it running. I made a video this weekend, last week, where I sat out in this field in the country. My folks have this beautiful place out in the country that I'm able to get out to. So if you're looking for a thoughtful space to do this sort of thing, passing some time in a thoughtful space, I always thought, okay, can I, like when I am consulting with people, just one-on-one, okay, then I'm like, actually, you pass the time, together. That's part of how you do it. Like if you had to help only one person practice fasting, it was the only thing you had to do, well, grabbing a coffee and hanging out together and talking, that would be like a great way to do it. And so part of what I'm trying to do in this sort of space, right? But, so here's a space on demand, hang out with me in this beautiful field and pass some time. One of the big struggles, you start trying to fast, you'll experience like a food craving of some time. Our body is on a cycle, one of the hormonal cycles, the ghrelin cycle. This ghrelin hormone is what, see, I'm going into the lecture, okay, but this is what makes us feel hungry. That hormone gets the stomach churning, it helps start acid production. That hormone lasts about 90 minutes. So most people's experience of hunger is that it will come in a wave that lasts 90 minutes. And then there's a peak of that when that hormone is really surging out. The peak is like 10 minutes. So I say, can we design experiences that help people get through that? Because most people, especially once you get over that crest, the down slope of it is much better than the upswing. Like if you're getting hungrier and hungrier, that's getting more and more intense. That is a difficult space. So I say, just dive in with me on the field. I'll give you lots of nice, thoughts. And okay, is it good thoughts? Yes. But also, I've got peaceful music to kind of decrease some stress and anxiety. It's actually just helping you kill the time, right, in a thoughtful way, so you can get through that peak. And then you'll start to experience the opposite. Oh, actually, I'm feeling better. You can feel it. Oh, you can kind of feel that hormone. So now I'm in a better space. So check that out. Make it through the weight loss week. See if that is helpful. helpful thing for you through this season. Even, I mean, it's just like 5 minutes or something. So, during this holidays, if you're running into a stressful thing, a stressful patch, also you could just dial that in and then see if that kind of helps keep you on a positive track. What were we saying? How do we end with a win? How do we? Oh yeah. So here's a strategy that I'll have people use. You've identified, okay, Thanksgiving, I'm having these people over. We're having all this food. I want to have, this and this and this, and these are like my priorities. And then you're getting your headspace right, and so you're going to enjoy it. Okay, but how do you treat the time around it? And a strategy that I use a lot with people is just, we gotta balance this out over the course of a week. We gotta win a week, and Thursday is gonna be like tipping things in one direction. Okay, how do you create a space that balances that out? And this is another way that I see fasting as like a gift. And people don't realize that fasting is a thing you can do, and they feel compelled to keep eating, and you don't even have to. And all of a sudden you realize, look, you're going to be eating an extra meal's worth in this day. What if you just took a meal out from this day? Okay. And could you do that? And would you feel okay? And so, maybe Wednesday, you're gearing in Wednesday. Say, I'm going to lean into the fasting process on Wednesday. Open up that space, stay hydrated. And if you're feeling good, then balancing out the Thursday. And then maybe you come back on Friday and you say, hey, maybe you're not even that hungry from Thursday. You say, I'm still full. Can you embrace some fasting space on both ends of it? And maybe you come out the end of the week and it's like a win, where it's like the win would be you enjoyed all the food that you wanted on Thursday and you felt good. And then you used fasting as a tool to balance it out over the week, and you enjoyed those days. That would be the ideal scenario. You're not struggling through it. You just open up the amount of space where you feel good, and it all balanced out. That would be my goal. Give that body some space to rest. Let it run off the storage. Let it reset the hormonal profile. And that would be a gift to the body. If maybe I should find a link. Maybe I'll put a link in the show notes or the video description to come back to. There's a great article from the Cleveland Clinic on autophagy. There would be a lecture I used to dive into quite a lot. Are you familiar with that? Have you heard that? So autophagy is a cellular recycling pathway in the body. It's activated by fasting. You think, like, when you look at the cells of our body, they're like little machines in there that are little protein factories. And, the cell builds them and they can degrade and get damaged over time. And then they're not as functional. Maybe they're not building the proteins and things in the best way that they should. In a fasting space, we activate cellular recycling pathways. It'll chew up the old, protein factories, the old parts of the cell, and it'll build new ones. It'll recycle this stuff. This is why a fasting practice can be a cleansing, rejuvenating practice. It's one of the reasons it's so healthy for the body. So there is like a gift for the body. You want to give your body a gift of health. Cellular rejuvenation and cleansing. There's no other way to do it. It doesn't matter how much money you have. You can't buy fasting. You can't even give it to someone else. But you can do it yourself. You can give that gift to yourself. Cellular rejuvenation for the body. Autophagy. Check out the link. I'll put it later when I. Any burning questions? Here, I look at the clock. I've yammered on for half an hour already. should give more space. Definitely adding some fasting space. Earlier this week and Friday, staying busy to distract myself. Yeah, I like that. My goal is not to gain during this time. Yeah, it's not like a weight loss process. It doesn't have to be a straight line. What is the quote I heard once? Preservation is progress. I think it was like an environmental. Preservation is progress. I really like that. So yeah, just make it through this week, balance it out, focus. A fasting sort of space. It's it's for the boring days. It's for the. You could here would be a way to use like a fasting space in a like on a holiday. If everybody's getting up and people hanging out and you can just have a coffee and it's no big deal. I mean, don't it's not like you have to eat during most of the days. I've worked with some people say like, well, I can still keep my 2 meal thing going. It's not like you have to have extra meals. You could if you want, do whatever you want. But what if you just ate 1 meal, but it was that Thanksgiving meal when everyone's there and you ate whatever you wanted? But, I mean, that would be a way to approach it. Or the other way is to say, I don't want any part of that on this date, and balance it out on the different days. Different strokes for different folks. But that's the way to do it. Add some fasting on the other sides, and all right. I've been thinking about might do a little live stream on Wednesday. We'll see. I'm going to be traveling, over Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'll be swinging back in for live stream next week. May see if I can squeeze one in on Wednesday. Just to touch base. We'll see. Appreciate you being with me here today. I hope you have a great holiday week. Safe travels if you're going in anywhere. I hope it's a really thoughtful, enjoyable, memorable time for everyone. I hope that any fasting space that you have, that it can be stress relieving, that it can be seen as a gift for the body, opening up some space to bring health, let health flourish within the body, and keep things at least stable, and then as we have the opportunity to lean into it on a non-holiday week, then we dial it in further. Keep some momentum going through the end of 2024. It's just hard to believe that we're wrapping up this year. Really crazy. Finish strong, find an enjoyable holidays, and then we'll set ourselves up for really an incredible 2025. I just want 2025 to be beautiful journey for everybody, and I'll look forward to having you here along with me for it. Third day eating sardines. Have I heard of this challenge? No, I don't know about it, but I'm happy to hear about it. It certainly sounds like meaning only that, like you're just eating only that. It's certainly low carb, so I'm definitely an advocate. If you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to bring your blood sugar down, of course, eliminating carbs, very key way to do that. Also, something that can make a fasting process easier. One of the things that makes a fasting process more difficult, okay, if you're trying to eat tons of carbohydrates and then you're switching over to fasting, it's not that you can't do it or even that it's harmful in any way to the body. It's just you'll feel as though those insulin levels, spike up and then drop down. That's part of what makes us feel like kind of like, oh, I don't know. It feels a little rough. And so, there are people who would say, I mean, one of the things I really like about fasting is that you can apply it to any sort of dietary practice. If you look at the spectrum, I've had many patients that I've worked with who are vegan, for example, is have no animal products of any kind. Well, you can apply uh, fasting to that as like a lens, and people can have great results. And then you could go all the way over on the other end of the spectrum. I've had people who are like carnivores who eat only animal products. I was like, okay, you can apply fasting to that, and that can work very well. And the thing that is the similarity between these two extremes, you think of, I don't know if you've ever gone on social media, there's like wars between vegans and carnivores. And these are philosophical, um, probably disagreements more than health disagreements specifically. But they both focus on unprocessed foods. That's what I would say. Now, I tell some people say, okay, beer and chips are vegan technically. That's not the idea of what a vegan is going for, I think. You strip out all the processed foods. And so, here having some fish, you know, yeah, extremely satiating. Yeah, this is the thing. A lot of our hunger, I would say a core belief I have is that most weight problems at some root level are hormonal. And then the caveat is that people don't realize that our hormones are so flexible. They can change based on the environment, based on our activity, based on what we're eating. And changing our diet in a significant way like this, it can change many different types of hormones. And it's especially the insulin. Insulin is such a key for that. And it's people experience this. Have you experienced this? That you ramp up on carbohydrates, you end up getting hungrier, and then you can experience this kind of withdrawal from it. And so you get on a diet where you're really low carb. This is why people really get into kind of keto sort of diet. Uh, I'm very open to that. I'm not a pusher of it. My experience working with people is that it's not the majority of people that can stick with an ultra low carbohydrate thing. But for some period of time, taking some number of days and doing it is certainly give you definitely a boost and is something to come back and forth to. I'm very positive. So thank you for sharing. Do you have a specific length of this challenge? Are you going to do it for a particular amount of time or? Yeah, that sounds like a good experience. Let me know in some comments somewhere. How does it go? Or let me know next week. And yeah, tell us about it. Sardines is something I never really got into, until I went to Spain. I spent a couple weeks in Spain a few years ago, and just sitting on the Mediterranean coast. And I'm like, well, what is the thing to order? And it's actually pretty good. All right, super good having you all here with me. Good luck with this challenge, everything you got doing. I'll try to wrap things up, and have a great day. And I will connect with y'all down below. Oh, it's always funny how this delay is. I had a friend on with the delay. It's like 5 to 10 seconds. Where I talk and you'll hear it in 10 seconds. Yeah, absolutely. If you're trying to get into that ketosis sort of state, going super low carb is gonna lower the time that it takes to get there for sure. Someone sent me a chart the other day about, oh, how long does it take both to get into ketosis and then also to start triggering this autophagy that I was discussing. If you want to trigger the autophagy, they were saying, well, you're not going to get it till you're fasting for, I think they were even saying maybe 2 days. You can't really measure autophagy in an individual person, but I'll tell you, going low carb, my suspicion is that it significantly reduces the amount of time that it takes to get to do some more thinking. Maybe I'll talk more about that.